All right, gang, we are now on page 3, worksheet 1.3, midpoint and distance formulas. Working on page 3. Doing the start questions, we're going to start here with question number 33. It says, set up an equation to solve for x. Explain why you set it up that way. Which vocabulary word best describes the reasoning from the diagram used to set up the equation? So here's our picture right here. Notice that we have two parts. We have this part on the right, and we have this part on the left, and then they give us this value that goes all the way across. We have a left and a left and a right. What that means is that we are going to be using segment addition. That means we're going to take the left part plus the right part and equal it to the whole thing. So would we set up our equation right here? We're just going to take this part on the left, x plus 5. We're going to add this part on the right, 3x plus 2, and set that equal to the whole thing, 6x minus 23. We just write x minus 5 plus 3x plus 2 equal to 6x minus 23. Some people might say, let's just do some mental math, and they would take the x and the 3x and add those together right away and get 4x. And then they would take the minus 5 and plus 2 and say that that equals minus 3. That still equals this whole thing, 6x minus 23. Both of those are good answers. They both would be acceptable. When we're looking at the next one, it says if ME equals 3x plus 8, and we're given a diagram. They do not put the 3x plus 8 onto the picture, so we have to figure out where that goes. Notice that they talk about the M and the E. M and the E. This 3x plus 8 goes right on the right-hand side. 3x plus 8. The one thing we're missing is the total, but we look more closely and we realize that they have these bars right here, and those little bars mean that those two parts are equal. That means we're going to be using the idea of midpoint. And remember that midpoint makes two equal parts. So when we set up our equation, we're just going to take the left part and equal it to the right part. 5x minus 6 equals 3x plus 8. Notice in this question, they did not give us a total. They just gave us the two parts. What I want you to do, pause your video, work on the next couple, and then I'll come back and help you with number 36. All right, question 36 is just a little bit different because they are going to ask us to find out what x is and what st is. Read the directions here. It says, state an equation that relates the three segment lengths and then find the indicated values and lengths. This question we're not going to just set up, we are going to solve it also. So question 36 says, find the value of x, t, and when I look at the picture, I find s and t. That is just the right side. That's the part we're going to be doing in the end. When I look at the question, I notice that there are no tick marks on here. They don't say anything is equal. They give me two parts, and they give me the whole. So my equation is going to be 4x plus 12 plus 6x, and that will equal 32. When I add my like terms, I get 10x plus 12 equals 32. When I solve this, I subtract 12 from both sides. I get 10x equals 20. And because they are multiplying, I will divide. I get x equals 2. That is the number that goes in this blank right here. Now we have to take that 2 back and plug it into the equation. Notice that they want us to find ST, so I go up here and I look for S, and I go over to T. That's this guy right here. So now 2 is going to go in there, and I have 12 plus 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12, plus another 12, 24. It turns out that ST is 24 spaces. If you haven't done question number 35, please pause and go back and try that one. It's a little bit different, but follow the examples from above, 34 or 33, and then we can come back and review cubics if you need help with that. All right. Now the last question here that we have, it says use cubics to set up only. Point J is between H and K on HK. Draw the diagram. Use the following information to solve for X. Then find HJ and JK. Notice in here, we are going to set up only. We will not continue on to find HJ and JK. So when we read this, we're going to first quick review our cubics. CUBIXS. Circle the numbers. Underline the question. Then box the vocab. Then imagine or draw the image, our picture, and then explain and solve. For this one, we are not going to solve it. So in the problem, circling the numbers would be these guys right here. Those are the things that we're going to use. Underlining the question would be solve for X, then find HJ and JK. Then we're going to box the vocabulary words. An important word here is that we have J between H and K. So when I draw my picture, between is where I'm going to put J, and H and K go on the ends. Now we're going to go and take our numbers that we have and put them in our picture. It says H to J is 5x minus 4. So right here, I'm going to put in my 5x minus 4. Then J to K is 8x minus 10. So J to K, I'm going to put in 8x minus 10. And then KH is 38. From K all the way back to H is 38. Notice that we have the left part and we have the right part. And here we have the whole segment. So we're going to add the two parts and equal it to the whole. 5x minus 4 plus 8x minus 10 equals 38. Or for those doing some mental math, we can add the 8 and the 5 together to get 13x. And we can do the minus 4 and the minus 10 together to get minus 14 and write 38. Either one of those is okay. Ultimately, if we kept doing our work, we would solve this. So we would find out what x is. And then we would take that and plug it back into our segments. And we would plug our x back into HJ and JK. That would solve the problem. This one is just a setup problem. So we are done right here. Good luck. See you in class tomorrow.